The words weren't spoken for me. They weren't meant to ever reach my ears. But they did. I was in the kitchen, leaning against the counter with a glass of water in my hand, when her voice carried down the hallway. My wife, Anna, was on the phone. Her tone was hushed, trembling, laced with something I hadn't heard from her in years. Longing. I regret not marrying you, Michael. You're everything James isn't. The glass nearly slipped from my fingers. My chest constricted, my pulse thundered in my ears. For a second, I stayed frozen, as if stillness could undo what I'd just heard. But the words were real, cutting deep, branding themselves into me. Anna and I had been married for 9 years. 9 years of Sunday breakfast, late-night talks, arguments that ended in laughter, and whispered promises in the dark. I believed we were strong. I believed I was enough. But in that instant, I realized I wasn't. I almost confronted her. I could have stormed down the hall, torn the phone from her hand, demanded an explanation. My pride begged me to. My anger urged me to. Instead, I collapsed into a chair at the kitchen table, listening to muffled fragments of her voice. My hand trembled so badly I had to set the glass down before it shattered. I know. I chose stability. James is safe, dependable. But your passion, you're everything I should have chosen. Dependable. She'd taken everything I thought was strength. Paying bills on time, working late to give her comfort, putting her needs before mine, and twisted it into a weakness. I stayed quiet until the call ended. Her footsteps tapped softly against the hardwood as she came toward the kitchen. My body stiffened when she walked in. Her face glowed faintly, like a teenager who had just hung up after whispering with her crush. "Hey," she said casually, pulling a glass from the cabinet. "You okay? You look pale." I forced a smile. "Just tired." And in that moment, I chose silence, not confrontation. Not yet, because now it wasn't just anger. It was clarity. I needed the truth before I burned everything to the ground. The weeks that followed, I became an actor in my own home. Smiles, small talk, the routines of a husband who knew nothing. But at night, lying beside her, I stared at the ceiling, replaying those words. I regret not marrying you. I started noticing things I'd ignored. The way she tilted her phone away when messages popped up. The sudden late girls' nights that left her faintly scented with cologne I didn't own. The distance in her kisses. Her lips brushing mine out of obligation, not affection. It was all there. I just hadn't wanted to see it. So I began gathering proof. Quietly, methodically, I combed through our phone bill. Michael's number showed up over and over, always late at night. I found hotel receipts tucked in her purse, charges she never mentioned. Then one night, while she showered, I read the messages left open on her laptop. "With you, I feel alive again. I can't stop thinking about what could have been. James will never understand me the way you do." Each line cut like a knife, sinking deeper. The breaking point came one Friday evening. She walked into the living room, wearing a red dress I'd never seen before. She looked beautiful, stunning. My heart, despite everything, betrayed me with a pang of longing. "Going somewhere?" I asked, pretending to glance at the TV. She hesitated for only a second. "Dinner with Claire. Girls' night." But her eyes flickered, and I knew. She wasn't going to Claire. She was going to him. "Have fun," I murmured. The door clicked shut behind her, leaving the house smothered in silence. Every nerve in me screamed to follow her, to catch her in the act. Instead, I reached for the folder I'd been building. Phone records, screenshots, receipts, and made my decision. The conversation she never saw coming. The next morning, over breakfast, I slid the folder across the table. She blinked, confused, until she opened it. The color drained from her face. What is this?" she whispered. "You tell me." My voice was steady, colder than I'd ever heard it. Her hands trembled as she flipped through the pages. "James, I don't." I cut her off. "Not now. Not anymore. I've known for weeks." Her eyes welled with tears. It wasn't supposed to happen. Michael, he reached out and I just what? My control cracked, anger seeping into my tone. Just threw away 9 years of marriage? Just decided the man you vowed forever to was disposable? She broke down, sobbing into her hands. I never stopped loving him. When he called, all the feelings came back. I thought I could manage both, but I can't. My chest ached. So what was I? The consolation prize? The safe choice while you dreamed of him? Only her sobs filled the silence. That night, she came to me in the bedroom, eyes swollen, voice raw. James, please don't throw us away. Michael was a mistake. I was confused. You're my husband, the one who's always been there. I can't lose you. I laughed bitterly. You already did. She dropped to her knees, clutching my hand. We can fix this. Counseling. Anything. I'll block his number. I'll change jobs. Please, don't give up on us. For a moment, I wanted to believe her. I wanted to hold her and pretend this nightmare hadn't happened. But then her words echoed again. I regret not marrying you. You're everything James isn't. And I knew I could never unhear them. The next week, I filed for divorce. Quietly, efficiently. When I handed her the papers, she broke. James, please don't do this. I deserve someone who chooses me, I said firmly, not someone who settles for me while longing for someone else. She begged, she promised, but my choice was already made. A month later, I moved out. The house was heavy with memories I no longer wanted to carry. The aftermath. Friends and family asked what happened. I kept it simple. She chose someone else. At night, loneliness crept in. I'd lie awake, replaying the good moments. Our vows, her laugh in the kitchen, the way she once looked at me like I was her world. And I'd wonder if I was walking away from something that could have been saved. But then I'd remember that phone call, those words not meant for me, and the knife would twist all over again. Healing came slowly. I drowned myself in work, in long runs through empty streets, in coffee shops where no one knew my name. Little by little, the weight lifted. The final blow. 6 months later, I heard through mutual friends that Anna and Michael had moved in together. My chest tightened, not with longing, but with clarity. She hadn't chosen me. She never really wanted me. And strangely, that truth set me free. Betrayal doesn't break you in one clean fracture. It splinters you, leaves shards inside that cut when you least expect it. But it also teaches. I learned I'd rather be alone than half loved. I learned that being stable, dependable, that's not weakness. It's strength. And one day, someone will see that and choose me, not as a safe option, but as the only one they want. As for Anna, I'll never know if she regrets losing me. But I know this. Walking away was both the hardest and the bravest thing I've ever done. And that's what stunned her most of all.